Hi there. I'm Stacy, and I coach introverted professionals who are ready to grow their confidence, influence, and leadership, all in ways that use their innate introverted strengths. So tonight, I'm headed to a networking event hosted by my local Chamber of Commerce. It's at a nearby winery. Sounds kind of lovely, right? But here's the catch. I just joined the chamber, and I don't know a single person who's going to be there, which I guess is kind of the point of networking. But because I don't have someone there to buddy up with, a strategy I recommend when networking as an introvert, I'm a little more nervous than usual. But I'm going to practice what I preach, or rather, what I coach my introverted clients to do when they talk about how hard it is to network, so I can make this evening both productive for my business and easy on my nervous system. Before I dive into what that'll look like, I'll say a bit about why networking can be hard and oftentimes a little bit scary for introverts. In large part, this is because so much of the mainstream advice assumes you'll thrive in high energy rooms filled with small talk and business card blitzes, I guess. We've been told that networking means collecting as many business cards as possible or new connections on LinkedIn. The more people we meet, the more successful our networking event will have been, right? Well, for most introverts, that's actually wrong. Because meeting a whole bunch of people, especially in a noisy, crowded room, is not aligned with how we're wired. As introverts, we typically gain energy from solitude and lose energy in extended social settings, especially when those settings are unstructured, noisy, or filled with the pressure to perform. And that's not a flaw, I want to be clear. That's a fact of our cognitive wiring. And the good news is you can and should tap into this wiring when you're trying to build your professional network. You don't need to network like an extrovert to succeed. And more importantly, you shouldn't. In fact, when you lean into your introverted strengths, like preparation, deep listening, and having meaningful one-on-one conversations, networking can become not just bearable for you, but surprisingly effective. Doing this well has real impact. Strategic networking can help you build credibility and visibility. It can open doors to new opportunities. It can strengthen your leadership brand. And it can help you to attract collaborators, clients, mentors, you name it. If you're working toward a promotion, business growth, or a new leadership role, a strong aligned network can be the difference between being overlooked and being invited in. And for introverts, especially, quality beats quantity. One solid conversation can have more long-term value than a dozen surface-level exchanges. So here's how I'm approaching tonight's event, introvert style. I set a goal for myself: connect with 3 people meaningfully. I reviewed the attendee list, and I looked up those 3 people on LinkedIn to learn more about what they do. I crafted a short elevator pitch that feels like me. I identified one thing I'd like to learn from each person. And perhaps, most importantly, I've given myself permission to leave if and when my energy starts to dip. No guilt. I won't be working the room. I'll be purposefully working to initiate a small number of new, authentic relationships that are best aligned with who I am and how I'm trying to grow my business. And yes, I'm still a little queasy, but kind of excited too. To help you put this into action, I'm going to give you an introvert power practice for the week. This is your opportunity to try out the takeaways from today's episode. Here it is. Choose one upcoming event. It can be virtual or in person, and then do 3 things. Pick 2 to 3 people you'd be curious to connect with. Prepare 1 thing to share and 1 thoughtful question for each of those people. And then set a boundary. Decide how long you'll stay or how many conversations you'll have. You'll find reflection prompts in the show notes to guide your planning and debrief afterward. And if you want more strategies like this, I've created a free conference survival guide just for introverts that you can download using the link in the show notes. Because when you learn to network in ways that honor your strengths, you can turn what used to be an anxiety-ridden event into something you might actually look forward to, or at a minimum, not avoid, and do your best to attend. And over time, you'll grow from each of these experiences. It'll get easier and easier each time until I bet you might, just possibly, seek out networking opportunities in the future. Until next time, power on.